In this lesson, we're going to look at views. So far, when we've typed in an SQL command, there's no way of actually retrieving that command to run it again. We can actually save the SQL statement, but we can't seem to run it. So this is where views come in. Now you can see from the athletes only table that we've been using so far, in the DBO athlete table, if we go into the views section, you can see there's no views here except system views. So what we need to do to create a view, so we can retrieve this view in the future and use it in maybe Visual Studio if we need to in the future, we go to new query, we type in the command, and then the difference here is create view. Then we put the actual name of the view here. Now, as far as good naming practices are concerned, I normally put V at the beginning because that signifies to me on any kind of lists instantly that's a view. We'll come into naming conventions more so in Visual Studio in the future. Okay, so all we do then is put the query in that we've written. Now, if you remember, this was the very first query we did. And just as a recap, we selected all the fields. Remember, that's not all the data, that's all the fields from the athlete table, which are AthID, FName, SName, telephone, from DBO athlete. And that is the table that we got here. Now you may be wondering, what's this next line here? Well, I found a bug in SQL Server, because sometimes when you create a view, the view doesn't appear here. But a workaround that, if you use athletes only, which is the database name, and then click go, go means run this particular application, it will create a view and put it in the correct place here. Now you can try that yourself if you want to try running it. Sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, but this way it works every single time, and that's what we really do need. So if we highlight that, execute, now you'll see this comes up, commands completed successfully, but you can't see this here at the moment because we need to refresh. So if we click on the athletes only database, refresh, go on to views, and you can now see the view that we created earlier, which is the same one as that. We can then use that view in any which way you want. So if I right click on that and go to select top 1000 rows, it will run the query quite happily. But a big advantage of this, we can also run and edit in that query as well. Now we're actually editing directly into the query as well as the database table. Okay, as a recap, just close these down so we don't get confused. To create a view, all we need to do is say create view, whatever view name it's called, as. Then we simply put the SQL statement underneath it, and from then it's actually created and maintains the query that we created just inside there. Now for some of you, you might be thinking, well, this is very similar to Access, and it really is, because when you create a query in Access, this is what's happening behind the scenes to make it simpler for you.